Okay, we're gonna get started. So, my name is Mr. Decker, and I've been the head coach for 12 years now for the high school team. The main man, back there, Steve Kosick, is the programming mentor from IBM. And so between the two of us, we've been running the team for me it's 12, 10 for you?
Yep.
And 10 for Steve. So I wanted to make sure that first that everyone was introduced. The major thing that has happened that's so critical for this team are parent volunteers. And the parent volunteers don't necessarily have to come in with a specific expertise. Parents are always welcome. So parent volunteers, Doug, there, that's Doug, Thad is there, and Herb is there. And so they're like super critical. So as parents, if you want to be involved, please be involved. We can always use the extra help. I want, since most everyone here knows each other, I just...
You didn't introduce Jim.
Oh, sorry, Jim. Jim, yeah. So Jim and Steve know each other from IBM, and Jim's been also coming in to help out with build. So since most of you know each other, I want to make sure that the people who are here that are new, so you don't know everyone, and you don't know everyone. Can you tell us your name? August and? Caitlin.
I think it's in the back.
And?
Alice, Audrey.
Alice and Audrey. And you're 8th graders?
No, we're
9th graders? And 8th grade and 8th grade? 9th grade? 8th grade, okay, good. So this is some of the team, not all of the team, because there's some team members sitting down here. But the team captains are Ada and Isaac, and they will, and this is Luke and Rosie and Paul, and they all have different roles on the team, they do different things. So we'll let them take it away and tell you what this is all about. Okay?
Alright, let's start out tonight on a good note. If you can't hear me, just kind of give me something because I'll try to be louder. Though I will be as loud as I can. Now, welcome to the night, of course, but I want to make 3 things really clear before we do start. Is one, you won't really know this program until you complete it. It is a great program, it is a ton of fun, and it will be the hardest fun that you will ever have. It is great for any person going into any field, as it will give you the skills, and you will learn skills that you will not learn at school. And there's a role here for everyone, and it will teach you everything that is to learn.
Okay, so our first slide, who are we? We are the RoboRaiders 6567. And we've been part of the first Tech Challenge, which was founded in 2012 to promote STEM and learning all across the Hudson Valley and across the world. And we promote various values, including discovery, innovation, impact, inclusion, teamwork, and fun. And we also encourage 2 main values that are very specific to FIRST. One is gracious professionalism, which is kind of the idea of friendly competition, being a good sport. And the other is the idea of cooperation. So that's competing while still collaborating. Yes.
Alright, cool. So, what's FIRST? So, FIRST is a non-profit organization based on inspiring people in young sciences and technology. It consists of 3 programs. FIRST LEGO League, which you'll find in the middle school, and then FIRST Tech Challenge that we do here, and then your FIRST Robotics competition, which we don't do, but it's like with robots that are like crazy big and they're like on basketball-sized fields. Are you in the FLL program at the middle school?
Yes.
Yeah, you are. Are you having a good time there?
Yeah.
I know it's a great time. My brother's on that. It encourages students to excel in STEM and was founded by Dean Kamen in 1989 and is now a worldwide organization pushing students from all corners of the world to learn and appreciate STEM.
So we are specifically part of one of those three programs as mentioned, which is FTC. And FTC stands for First Tech Challenge, and it's students from grades 9 to 12, and we work together to build robots to compete. So they're usually about this size. You can see these are some of the robots we had in past competitions. This one was our robot from this past year. This is the one we're building right now. And they're usually about that size. And so we build with the Go Build a system, which you can purchase parts off, you can see. But then we also custom build a lot of our parts. We have an in-house 3D printer. We have a few actually. And we have a CNC machine. So all of this custom cut metal you can see is done with that. And our robots are programmed using Java and the Android Studio. And matches are played on a 12 by 12 field with 2 alliances, 2 teams each. And there's also 2 periods in each of these matches, so it begins with an autonomous period where the robot is just kind of driven by code, and then we have a robot driver, like Gall has been in the past. He's rammed into many robots, and that's a lot of fun. That's a good part of it. But now we're going to watch a video about how FTC works, so you can see what it's about.
If I find the volume, it'll work. I make really bad jokes.
First Tech Challenge is one of 3 first programs. Every year they release a new challenge. Once you get the challenge,
Turn it up on the TV.
I don't have a volume.
use a reusable kit to program a robot to self-reliant.
Personally, I do not learn hearing wrong, but hands-on is just going through it. Instead of saying, oh, I know how to build this robot, I can say, I built this robot.
In First Tech Challenge, students are developing a broad range of skills.
It'll go right back there.
hardware, troubleshooting, but there's also a lot of things that you learn that you wouldn't necessarily think about people skills.
Problem-solving skills, helping one another, helping other teams.
The program draws so many students that come in who just want to do the marketing, who just want to do fundraising. And that's a great thing that the kids learn very early on.
The model of FIRST has provided incredible opportunities for the students to interact with professionals.
Whenever I ask my mentors a question, they always flip the question around and ask, where would you find the answer to that question if I want to hear? They slowly built my confidence up so much more to the point where we weren't asking them questions, we were just going.
Each team has to compete at a local event, win awards at the local event, and then they're able to move on to the first championship.
You like to think there's that smell. The smell of robots.
There's different languages, different culture, it's just the best thing ever.
There's scholarships for colleges, universities, as well as technical programs.
I think it's incredibly important for youth to see careers in science and engineering as a possibility for them.
First Tech Challenge is like an avenue for me to express my creativity with like-minded individuals that later become my friends through the program.
First in one word, wow.
Fun!
First is inspiration.
First is amazing.
First is hope.
Alright, so I think a few things to point out from that video, because obviously it's a lot, but one really big thing that they mentioned is that there's a place for you kind of regardless of your interest. I think a big misconception going into robotics is that you'll join and you kind of have to be interested in very technical things. And while that's obviously great and very important, there's also a lot of other skills that we use on the team. We do a lot of emailing, we plan a lot of events, and we really run like a business. So there's just so many interests outside of the technical side that are important, on top of the technical side, which is also really great. And also you got a glimpse of some competitions, which are really the highlight of our season in my opinion. You get to go and like meet people from all around the Hudson Valley. Depending on your level, you know, if we advance to regionals and then maybe worlds, you meet people from all over the world. But a few other benefits include that you learn a lot about STEM and critical thinking, and like I mentioned, business skills. And it's also a place where you can like meet and hang out with a lot of different kinds of people. And a big thing too is it prepares you for life beyond school. Like I've learned a lot of really important life skills, even just email writing. It's gotten so quick and natural for me through this program. And it also provides a lot of scholarships for students. Over $1 million have been allocated to.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about our team in the structure side. So we run our team like a business where the 4 sub-teams work cohesively to keep the team working. This means that there is room for people with many different skills in each team. You basically can help any skill is really useful. Even for those less interested in the technical side, we always are looking for members to work on event planning and social media. All of us utilize engineering and industry processes to keep us going on track that we learn from our industry mentors. Many of our alumni have gone to schools like Columbia, Yale, Georgia Tech, RIT, RPI, WPI, Kettering, and Clarkson, just to name a few.
So we have 4 big sub-teams. These are build, outreach, coding, and fundraising. And here is someone who's worked a lot on social media and fundraising.
Yeah, so one of the big things that people don't really talk about is the robotics team isn't just robots. A lot of what goes into this is the fundraising and the media outreach that we do, because as a team that is like primarily self-funded, we have to manage our own money, we have to kind of figure out where we're going to spend it, and we do a lot of that through the media, which some of you may have seen our infamous Instagram page. That has been pretty active this year. And then we promote our team through our website, the newspaper, and then, yeah. And we also, one of my favorite parts is we design our amazing jerseys and pins, which are on here somewhere amongst the vast collection.
And so then another big part of this is outreach, and we've gone to so many events. Kind of the 3 big categories I would say are, there are some events where we visit various institutions and local STEM centers to gain knowledge for our team. Then we also attend a lot of events with our robot, just kind of showing the community different things. And then we've also hosted various events to help spread STEM to the community. Over the years we've spoken to hundreds of thousands of people at these events, and it's really essential to our mission. Even the members that focus primarily on technical things are still a big part of these trips that we do. And just to give a few examples, you can see there's a lot of different things, but up here we have our IBM visit, where we went and we learned about the quantum computing lab. That was really interesting. We have various visits we've done at the elementary school to talk to some of the younger kids, which is something that we're actually going to do even more of going into this year, but kind of teaching the younger kids some of the stuff that we do. And then there's also the Dutchess County Fair. That's another event that we do every year that's really big and helps us reach out to thousands of people.
Hey, I'm Luke. I'm build team. So our robot, we design CAD most of it so that we see how everything fits together on the robot, as well as what we need cut or print. We use our 3D printers and our CNC machine to manufacture and machine the parts that we put on our robot. And we will also use our CAD to help find flaws in the robot and experiment with things that they need to go.
And you can see a few of the robots here, as I mentioned before, if you'd like to take a look after.
Hello, my name is Gal. I'm the sub-team lead of the software team. We're responsible for coding our robot. We use a cupcake to birthday cake to wedding cake methodology. Start off simple with our cupcake, which is just learning and teaching new team members how to code in Java, and then we move on into birthday cake, which is using that knowledge into coding our first robot. Usually that's a test bot. And then birthday cake, where we use more advanced automation and other features in our code. We also collaborate with the drive team to make our robot more compatible with our drivers, to make a better robot on the field when we're competing.
Alright, So now you've learned about some of the subtools. We can also talk about some skills here. From computer-aided design, teamwork, mentorship to Java, we also offer project management and public speaking skills. These are all important for where you're going in life, and also you can do it best with FIRST.
And so just to talk a little bit about what a typical season looks like, we usually spend June to August working on outreach and planning a lot of those events that you saw. Then September, we're very busy because that's when the game is announced and we find out what this competition that we're building our robot for, what that entails. And so we call that the kickoff. And we focus a lot on prototype creation in this time. Then we start to get a little farther into the winter, into October and December, and that's really when we crack down. Everyone is all hands on deck, and the robot really comes together in this period. And then we usually have our series of competitions. And so we'll compete in 2 to 3 of these qualifying tournaments, and if we're lucky, we'll make it to regionals, and then our it's kind of like a sport. And so during the times in between these qualifiers and regionals, we continue to iterate on our design and work on our robot. And if we've qualified in March through May, we will compete in regionals or worlds in late April and / early May.
So moving on, we can talk about a little bit about meetings and commitment. We have general meetings on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, but Mondays are the only required meetings. You're highly encouraged to go to the other meetings because that's when we get the most stuff done, surprisingly. And that's what's waiting. Each sub-team will also create a schedule that works for its members. So that could be any time, basically. And then moving on.
Yeah, I mean, one thing to highlight with the schedule too is we understand that people are very busy, and so that's something that we're trying to work on in our team, coming to us and figuring out a way that you can still contribute to the team even if you are participating in other activities. And so how can you get involved now? Well, high schoolers can actually just start this Monday, but we also understand it's a busy time of year. So if you can't attend these early meetings or the meetings in June, there's a lot of opportunities to get involved. There's the Dutchess County Fair, which starts in August, and I personally think that's a great way to kind of get engaged, and you learn pretty quickly working there, and it's also a lot of fun. You get to hang out with little kids and make pins and do coloring and just talk to a lot of new people. But if that doesn't work for you, or if you are a rising high schooler, we will have our tentative first meeting on September 10th, so at the very beginning of the school year. And everyone here will also be added to the teams page, so you can watch out for announcements there.
Yeah, so that's about the end of our presentation today. But if you're more interested, we're going to walk down to our build room where you can see exactly where and how the game looks and where everything happens. So if you're interested, I'll go to that in a few minutes. For now, though, we can also show off a little bit of what the coding side of things does with a turret robot. It uses this camera and can track a number when I give it, and it can move towards the number if it sees it. So you can learn all about this type of thing, the mechanical and code side is for the more technical people. Here, you come up here. So all you gotta do is move left and right, and it should pick it up. Alright? Just like a little QR code.
Code people are more technical.
Yeah.
Hold it back a little bit further.
And it does that in play automatically. Alright. We'll break it up. Alright, so we'll head down in a few minutes if you're interested, or you can play with it now.
Are there?
Does anyone have any questions about anything on team commitments? Anything? Yes?
I do. First, that's a great presentation. I really, that was fantastic. What if you're looking to do something like this, how do you know if you want to join something else? How do you know if it would conflict with your schedule? And just say, hey, you want to join another club, but you don't even know when they meet yet. And how can you juggle if you want to do multiple things?
I mean,
how do you do that? You're supposed to, you just look at the other clubs and say, hey, how often do they meet? You join a group and they practice every day for like 4 hours, which conflicted with the robotics club, so we had to miss things. And I was just curious, how do you look into it beforehand? Say, seems a little complicated to me if you're doing multiple groups or clubs or whatever, or sports.
I mean, I think that is something that we're working on, because especially with sports, it's a very big commitment, but that's probably why we're emphasizing this Monday meeting. Mm-hmm. And then kind of participation outside of that can probably be based on your availability. But I do a bunch of clubs. I'd say that our schedule works pretty well around a lot of the other clubs in school. the Mondays and Thursdays don't conflict with too many other things. But I don't know, Rosie does the sports, maybe she can tell you a bit.
Yeah, I just.
So let me jump in for a second. Why don't you, Ada, what things are you involved with that you're balancing?
Oh, well, I don't know, I play a lot of instruments, like I'm in the school band, I do student council and
Wow.
debate club and a lot of different jazz bands, like I do a lot of different after school things, but,
Okay.
I managed to make it work, yeah.
And I do a lot of sports, and I find that, I mean, a fair amount of the practices, like, you're able to go to at least a portion of the meeting ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
So you can, even if it's just like 15 minutes before practice, like that 15 minutes will make a difference. And then also, like, we have the Saturday meetings, which normally school sports don't conflict with, aside from like the occasional game, which is very rare. So there's definitely time with sports and activities where you can figure out what to say.
Okay, wow, I see you do multiple things, that's fascinating. We did a few, and I was kind of overwhelmed with trying to track what everything was, and
Yeah.
I found a little bit, but you guys make it work, okay, thank you.
Look, what were you involved with this year, other than robotics?
I just have guitar on Tuesdays, which is
What's Tuesdays?
guitar lessons.
Guitar lessons?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I do also do RHBC, I do student council, and I also work a job.
Wow.
I also work a job.
Geez, that's great.
Yeah, I mean,
What are you doing besides getting a haircut? What are you doing?
I do.
No, I mean, yeah, what do you do other than robotics and get a haircut? That's,
I also do a lot of sports. I do cross country in the fall. Right now I do track and field.
Wow, okay, that's impressive.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
But I think as high school comes around and there's a lot of opportunities, people tend to commit to a lot of things, and you figure out how to make it work.
I had one other question, if you don't mind. We were discussing earlier about I was asking about how I should be parenting. I was forced to do a lot of activity when I was in high school. I had to play soccer, I had to play baseball. It was just, I had no choice. And I asked him, I said, what do you think as a parent? Should I be encouraging him to do stuff, or let him pick the things that he's interested in, or say, here's what I encourage you to do? And I was perplexed. I just was curious if anyone says, oh no, you don't have to force your kid to do something, let them pick their own. But I'm interested in just if anyone had an opinion on that. I was trying to see, I don't want to.
Well, my opinion is that it's usually it works better for everyone if nothing is forced.
Yep.
And that you allow the student to follow their individual interests, which may or may not align with the parent's interest or desire for what their child should do or be doing. So I would say, whatever that interest is, as long as it's safe and productive and brings the child joy, then it's all great.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's what I've kind of been doing, encouraging him to do what he likes to do. And I'm old school. I grew up in the '80s. I have a little bit of and I grew up watching Rocky. So I always was fascinated by these kind of groups.
so to add what Mr. Decker said
Yeah.
is, so I've been with this group only since September,
Uh-huh.
but my daughter was involved with this, it's called Odyssey of the Mind. It's a similar kind of thing. You know, we go out to Middletown, I mean, thousands of kids out there. Went down to Peekskill, Fishkill. None of these kids are being forced to be there, and they want to be there. It's just the energy.
Yeah, that's
If
fantastic.
you could put it in this bottle and drink it every day, we would be amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they want to be there.
Super, yeah.
When it comes to the robotics, the kids want to be there.
Yeah, and I would say as far as, commitments, even as adults, right, you do have to learn at some point to pick and choose your commitments, what you're able to sustain and actually do. And that's a skill, right, to not get burned out, to not get overwhelmed. And so at some point, if you're just so busy doing other things that you love doing, then maybe you have to back away from something else. And that's okay too. On the other side, we've really made it so that, and we're making it better, so that for students who cannot make it to a certain meeting or whatever, they can still have a role if they choose to. It'll mean doing things outside of an actual meeting time. And we have ways now of like tracking that and making sure that they're included and what are they doing, you know? And it really, you know, if someone is really interested in build, then it would be really difficult to not be here.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you can't build from home. But there are so many other things that the team does and has to do. Many of those things can be done outside of a scheduled meeting. So that's something else to look at.
And if you are looking into something else, like track, do they have the schedules out beforehand, so you can be like, oh, I'm interested in track, and they say, hey, well, we practice 5 days a week. Is there a website or something, or do you have to like sign up and then you find out?
You could ask Golf.
I'm curious, because something to get the schedule ahead of time, unless you go to a meeting. So how do you find out what the schedules look like?
No, when track is in action, it's the season is already mostly over. At this time of year, we are like off season, so we don't have as regular meetings. But in the spring, I only have cross country, which is not as active as track usually.
Yeah.
On the
So
website or something?
yeah,
School
for
website?
yeah. So since you'll be like if you join the robotics team, like the peak of our season is obviously like kind of fall into winter, and because those sports are like at the beginning of the year, those will be on the Red Hook Central School District's page probably by midsummer, maybe in the later half. But so you can find those things, and then kind of like Gall said, the springtime, like the robotics, it's kind of like we're just calmed down, like we just finished our big season, but around then, like you can also see the spring sports schedule.
Okay. I find I'm always late on things because I don't research enough. With the Lambs School Crossing thing, everything we did, I was always missing it because I didn't read that parent portal message. So overwhelmed with so much information, I find it hard to track when things are happening where. That's great, yeah, you answered all my questions.
It's worse in high school, definitely.
But thank you, those are my questions.
Eventually they learn to drive and it gets a little easier.
Alright, well, unless anyone else has any questions, I feel like we could probably head down. Unless you guys want to take a minute to just look at the robots. Yeah, maybe we'll go down in like 2 minutes to take a little tour.
Are you two in bio? Because you did bio.
These are my soccer friends.
Yeah, I think we'll do
You brought your soccer?
Yeah, I'm the new Caitlin.
There you go.
Yeah.
It doesn't interest you? Awesome. Awesome. Sweet girl.